Hey guys, welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my gardening live stream, plant live stream, cactus live stream, all of the above and nothing. Also Halloween live stream. We are celebrating Halloween a little early this year. Yeah, and I'm back. Thank you for being here. We will discuss a few things today. But yeah, I want to say it's great to be back. I'm looking forward doing the live stream inside again in the future. It's really fun. I always enjoy doing my winter live stream. In the next couple of weeks, we will go out from time to time. Like during the really hot days, we will go out a little. But the majority of the stuff will be inside again now. I will bring the plants into the house, and then every time I have them here. Yeah? Hey, good morning, Pear. Greetings. Hope everything's okay with you. How's it going? Hope you have a good weekend and all. Enjoy it. I will be watching football. I will be watching the German soccer Pokal, Bundesliga, DFB Pokal. I will watch that over the weekend. Hey, greetings, mate. Greetings, Remo. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm back. And it was a lot of, like this morning, I had a lot of action. Kami caught a mouse, and I had a mouse in the kitchen. We are fighting against the mouse epidemic here. So yeah, Kami caught one. And I really hate it when it happens, but yeah, I just need to get my kitchen back, you know? Hey, good morning. Greetings to you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we are fighting against the mouse epidemic. Kami has caught one, but outside. I mean, I wish she would do it inside, you know, like when I have one mouse in the house and she's not catching it. Yeah. But today I have brought a few containers here. We will go through them, just checking. Most of them should be reported, and I consider to report into pumice. I'm seriously considering all the options. Yeah, and we will discuss that later. Then we have seed stuff again. I want to continue going through the seeds to pick the stuff that we are watching, that we are planting. Yeah, and I have brought this plant again. This is the Stetsonia that I recently bought in the supermarket. One of those sad plants from the local supermarkets that you always find, you know? I'm sure, like, when you have a general supermarket, they shouldn't sell plants because very often they are not able to keep them healthy. So I thought we would get one of those and try to make it healthy, make it great. Yeah, and here it is, repotted into new medium now. And it will go under the lamp. I want to water it and fertilize it on a regular basis. Yeah, so for one, I wanted to say something. I got a hate comment. Like this morning I saw I got another hate comment. And it wasn't bad. It was just a little, you know, like in a certain way, like when you're putting something like what I do when I'm putting that out, when I'm recording a video, you just have people that will react negatively to you. Like a lot of hate on the internet these days. And yeah, I really hate that, you know? I really don't like how hate has become a little part of the life. At least for when you're posting something, you have to expect that a certain percentage of comments will be negative. And I also think that the kind of content that you create kind of has an influence on that, you know? Because if you are making the kind of negative comments, then the people that are drawn to your content, they will like that more, you know, because that is what they're looking for on the internet. And I have a very, very positive community, very good and positive people. So most of my comments that I'm getting are positive and supportive, you know, and I love that about it. Yeah, because I thought about how much you have an influence on how the audience reacts later, you know. And yeah, if you have kind videos, I just hope that the comments will in general be a little kinder, a little friendlier in tone. Yeah. I haven't really responded yet. It's not something that warrants a response, you know. But I just want to talk about it from time to time when it happens. In general, it happens very rarely, though. Okay. Yeah, let's continue. I want to go through the containers here. We are sorting them out. I just need a little glove here. And then we're looking at the roots, and then we're deciding what we will do with the medium. If this needs to come into a new medium or not. Gut feeling will probably need to be repotted, but we will see. I'm just getting a little tub here, so we're not making a mess. Really got to clean up the desk here. There's so much stuff that doesn't belong here. So yeah, I will try to. This is also, check it out. This is mouse. This is a mouse ate the seedling. We're having a real epidemic here. I'm not a seller. I'm just a private cactus grower. Just doing a little hobby growing and nothing else. I don't have a nursery. I just don't have the time to do that, you know. It's a full-time job to have a nursery. And with my bad health, I just couldn't do it in the way it needs to be done. You have to be completely healthy if you have a nursery. Like friends of mine sell plants. It's a really tough job. A lot of problems when you're shipping. A lot of problems with customs, you know, local customs and all. But I usually donate seeds. Like there will be some sort of a giveaway, charity giveaway with the seeds again in the future. That's why we're just packing seeds already. I definitely want to donate the seeds that we are growing. The moment I have figured out a system that actually saves me the time to actually do it, you know, then we're doing it. Like if I can one day donate a bunch of bags of seeds and people will just arrange for growing them, that would be great. I will eventually in the future, I will not have the space to grow more. That's great to hear. That's great. The ones that we're growing here, these are often like Echinopsis, Trichocereus, Sorensia, a lot of different hybrids with the flower. Like everyone has a different flower color. In many cases, it's a really rewarding thing to grow them. Grow them from seeds. I enjoy that. Yeah, I mean, this one here, this seedling here has been really badly chewed. I tried to feel if there's still enough to pop again. Because sometimes when you have little seedling, and when they have reached a certain size, then they can survive being eaten halfway. But this one here is borderline. I think it will probably not make it. We will leave it now. I will leave it the way it is. Maybe we're cleaning it up a little bit here, just to keep any infection from happening in the places where there's just a little skin. Sometimes when you have that skin over a wound, that kind of keeps it from completely drying, and I really want that to dry. We are cleaning this up a little bit, the seedling. I really hope Kami takes care of the mouse. This is unacceptable. Yeah, so the others look okay. Other seedlings are all right. So let's see, cleaning this one up. Like what I'm doing is I will usually move every little seedling to see how it looks in between the seedlings, how the base looks, how the roots look. Yeah, these need to be reported. When you have different infections happening in between, then you usually have to change the soil. Very hard to get the soil clean once you had that kind of a contamination, you know? So yeah, I'm using sowing soil, classic sowing soil. Yeah, and it's a good soil for cactus seedlings. It's a little bit more organic than pumice. And for most people, that's usually the safer option, because a lot of people have the tendency to underwater cactus seedlings. Like cacti need a surprising amount of water, especially when they are young. And yeah, so when you're buying a mix that is sold for planting into it, sowing out into it, it's usually a very organic thing. This is ground wood bark, and often with perlite, other kind of stuff. Really, really good for growing, but you have to be careful about root rot. Yeah, it wasn't like that. We never had a mouse, you know, like, because of the cat. Kami is usually taking care of them, but this guy is really managing to evade capture. Like every time, the mouse only comes out when the cat is gone, you know, like when we're going to sleep. So I just hope that Kami will take care of that. Otherwise, we are getting another, like a second friend for Kami that they can hunt together. I can't have mice in the house. It's really nasty. They are eating, like they're completely trashing everything. I'm a completely kind and loving person. Like animals, I love animals, but the love ends when you have one that's taking a dump into your food, you know, like they are really bad. This year it has been like extreme. Really a lot of rodents around. Thank you. I'm not sure why it filtered it out, but I hope so too. I hope so too. I mean, she just caught a mouse earlier. It was just one outside, you know? Like the mice in the garden, I don't care so much for them. If there's a mouse in the garden, the way we live in the, like, surrounded by forest, that's you just gotta expect that there are mice, you know? But in the house, that's a limit. That's a line that I draw. So yeah, I'm just moving, like I'm getting rid of the old soil here, cleaning the root sections of the seedlings of the old soil, pulling the seedlings apart just so they have enough space when I'm planting them again. It's really a little bit difficult to plant seedlings when you have multiple seedlings in one. Eventually they will kind of grow into each other's territory. So it's good to separate them. We might have to single them, like separate over 2 containers here, spread them out over 2 containers. I think it would make it a little safer. Would give them a little bit more space that you can leave in between the seedlings. When you have the seedlings so close, sometimes the infection, when you have an infection, can jump from one seedling to the other. Like if they are touching each other, then that can happen. So yeah, I have been editing another time-lapse video that I posted earlier this morning. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's okay. I really liked the stuff that I filmed, but I didn't like how I did it, you know? When I'm watching the old time-lapse videos from last year, the one thing that always stands out to me is that I didn't film long enough. I didn't film long enough before and after the time-lapse, like after the flower opens up. These days I usually film another day, just the flower closing again. And in the first time-lapse videos, I didn't do that. I was just getting to know the medium. I had no idea what I was doing, and for that, I filmed some good stuff. It's just, if I would film it again, I would film it better. Yeah, and I think I will leave it with the one that I posted today. Tomorrow I'm posting another one. I've also started filming a new one. New time-lapse is filming right now. Yeah, and then I will bring plants into the house again. We'll be bringing the chili in. I'm not sure how long you can leave them out. I think it should be pretty long until the temperatures go really, really low. But it already felt cold this morning. So the seedlings here, this is Uwe Kahle, by the way. Uwe Kahle seedlings from 2024. Next couple of weeks, we will probably bring in a little bit of pumice. It's possible we have like when they are at this size, that's a good size for putting them into pumice. When they are a little smaller, then they often dehydrate so fast that the pumice can be too much. But at this size, you have really the best success rates in pumice. So maybe we're doing that. I just hate it. I just hate to work with it. It constantly falls out of the pots. It doesn't matter what you do, where you do it. You move a pot and the pumice comes rising out. It's everywhere. Yeah, but in these cases, it's really hard to beat it. Really a good medium. So I've split up the seedlings into two. And we will write another label for the second one now. Oh, I need to talk about something. Yesterday, I tried logging into my PayPal account, and in the last maybe last 6 months, a lot of big companies, big technology companies have been pushing a new verification method. Has something to do, I think it's called Samsung Pass or something like that. And I had issues with it. I had problems because of the unique problems that I have from Lyme disease. I have a bad memory. I have bad finger, like the fine motor skills and all are heavily affected in my case. And yeah, so I didn't want to activate that software. Last time I used it, I lost months of data, lost months of photos and videos. Everything I did over winter was gone. Just because when you're using that, it's not like with a pin and a PUC system where you can always go and get the PUC and unlock it again. Nothing I did was able to restore my profile to get to my file. I had been they were literally forcing me to create as one of these passcodes. And while I wanted to get up to get something to write for the code, the smartphone had locked again, and I didn't get to it. And that was the end. That was the end of 6 months of data. Yeah, and so now I'm really careful about changing. Really, really careful. I'm not really seeing it. And a lot of these companies, they are getting to the point where they are really where they're really treating you horribly if you don't have that accepted, if you don't have it activated. Yesterday, I had to verify my account on PayPal 6 or 7 times. Every time I try to log in, you're trying to see, hey, where's that payment? Is that paid? Is it not paid? Like that. And I had to verify every time I logged into my account. And it felt so exhausting. All of these, like these constantly new needs that they're coming up, like with verification, like you constantly have to create another thing that you need for increasingly unnecessary security methods. I mean, it's getting out of control, What's really frustrating. Not sure how I'm going to solve this, because apparently a lot of these big companies, they are pushing that heavily. Yeah, I'm not really against technical progress, I want to make sure people get that I'm not just against everything new. I just feel like all the stuff that they are constantly pushing on people is unnecessary. It's completely like the way they are pushing biometrics now, with all the cameras, with the situation, with all the surveillance networks that they have been building secretly, so many data centers, and it's just getting to the point where more people should walk away from it, where people shouldn't tolerate it anymore. I'm totally for having a secure smartphone, secure this, secure that. But in this particular case, they didn't have a fail-safe where you can unlock it if you ever forget the code. And I have these memory issues, like if I'm writing something, if I'm writing a number, it's gone in 10 seconds, Like the movie Gone in 90 Seconds or something like that, it's gone in 10. And I just have to live with it. So constantly, every time I have to do a huge thing to unlock the phone, it's always getting frustrating, Yeah, I try to do it too. Like everything new, they can keep it. I mean, if something is really necessary, or if something's really good, let's say I'm losing my eyesight, then I would love to use all the features that they have, like so much software today that's available today that can make life easier for people with special needs, Or if I don't know, if I'm losing my fingers, and then I would use more spell, where you're kind of voice to text and all that stuff. And search engines where you have the digital assistants like AI, what they're doing. If people want to use it, then it's okay for me. But I'm not like that, I just want to continue to live the way I used to live. And it gets increasingly more difficult, because every 6 months, every 12 months, they come up with the new stuff that it gets tiring. It gets really tiring when you're like, I'm at a point in my life, I've already had a lot of experience with technology. I've seen good and bad technology come and go. And I'm just feeling like I'm seeing a horrible time. I'm seeing a horrible age of technology. Everything needs to have an account. You can't even, like, when you're buying a game, you don't even have a disc. You don't even have the game. Like in 20 years, when people find this stuff on the flea market, it's going to be a huge disappointment, Just from the point of view of someone who likes, if you look at the 80s and 90s or 70s, the crazy pop arts, the famous things from those time frames. A lot of the famous things from our time frame will not work anymore because the servers are down, because you can't use the software anymore. You can't use this, you can't use that. Even the hardware is instantly obsolete. You can't even use the stuff today like you used PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. Like, so much of it comes instantly bundled with software downloads and stuff that will brick the device. I hate it. I hate that part of getting older. It's not that it's about technology. If something is good, I will use it. If something is really a positive technology, I will use it. It's just that a lot of technology that they have right now, I mean, you see where everything is going with literally dystopian nightmare scenarios where they have been, like yesterday I was watching a news story of a guy who found $30 somewhere in the supermarket, and I think it was in the United States. Guy apparently found $30, and yeah, the police have kind of followed him home, and have kind of guy now has to explain where the money went. And I mean, this is just one example, but I feel like they are using that technology already in a negative way, like for the trivialities that maybe 20 years ago, where they always said, hey, this is what's happening in China, like when they always made something look like with the outrageous privacy stuff and all. They were always talking about China, but now it's the same, it's literally the same with little things. People would have been following people that were driving over the border back and forth, like, come on. I can't read a map. I unfortunately can't read a map. I have never managed to do that. I have tried it many times. I have failed many times. So if I ever have to really use a map again, then I'm never arriving. I really think it's a mental problem. Like, I'm looking at the map and I have issues thinking in reality, like that change in between seeing the map and really thinking about it, how it will look when I'm driving there. I have issues with that. Oh yeah, I mean, look, the European Union, a lot of the things that they are doing are good, like things that are pro-consumer. A lot of good stuff is coming from the European Union, but they also are doing a lot of crazy things that are completely unnecessary, total bureaucracy, and also very often used against them, because it's too easy to paint those things, paint the things that they are doing like crazy overreach. They are making it too easy. And yeah, I mean, you see it, like there's so much bureaucracy already involved. Like with plants, if I would be selling plants, I would have to write a passport for every single plant, that's nuts. For every little seedling. I'd rather not sell plants at all. And yeah, and that's the kind of stuff where they're really hurting, because you can't expect a lot of the people who propagate rare plants to go through all of these crazy hoops that they are building up, that they're putting up, like writing a passport, like having to really label everything. Every single plant gets own label that you can really trace back the plant from the seed corn to. I mean, you can do it. It's not like that, but if you are adding that kind of a requirement, you're mostly supporting the big ones who already who have no problem to pay someone to do that a little bit, and the smaller ones who are mostly active because they love the hobby, because they love propagating rare plants. Those people will not do it anymore. If you're creating a system that's too complicated, too much bureaucracy, then you will kind of lock out the small people like me who are really keeping a few rare plants around. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. It's currently, I'm completely torn about the European Union, because I'm a supporter of Europe. I'm a supporter of a strong Europe. I think Europe needs to stand together, especially in view of the current problems. So many people people have an interest in Europe fighting with each other, like the countries in Europe. I would really like to see Europe sticking together. But yeah, when they are putting legislation out that has to be valid for every country, then it's really difficult. And sometimes they are doing stuff where I just know it will hurt them. It will hurt people in Europe. So much legislation also done from a lobbying point of view, where they are too close with the companies, where politics is too close with the big companies, where they should rather protect the little ones. So many requirements for companies, let's say in Germany. Like one example is like my ex-wife worked in a pharmacy, and they were always in competition with the online services. And the online services in other countries in the European Union, like let's say in the Netherlands, a lot of countries have a legal system where they cannot win over the smaller ones in other countries because they can't compete, and they've been creating a lot of these kind of systems where people just can't compete fairly anymore with companies that are always just that where it's not so important for them that they are making money right away, because if it's drying out the competition, they are also winning long term. I haven't heard that before, but I believe it. I mean, with camping, yeah, I'm sure it's like gotta be careful with forest fires and that kind of stuff, I'm sure a lot of the legislation around camping also has to do with stuff like fire prevention, but I don't really camp. I have no idea, But it must be pretty frustrating to realize you can't really use your own land, Like if you have these beautiful landscapes and you can't even take a vacation on them, go on a little hiking trip on them, So I totally understand. Yeah. I'm really torn on the European Union because, like, financially, there are many companies that benefit from having one big market. I remember, like, I used to buy relatively, like, quite a lot from Great Britain. Great Britain used to be a place where I could very well shop, get maybe a few good books here and there. But since the Brexit, that has become too expensive because the additional taxes that are put on top kind of make it not worth it, So by having a European Union where people can buy without having to pay taxes, you kind of have a lot of positive, it's kind of good too sometimes. And I completely respect how much of the European Union, how much they are trying to do customer protection right. Because if I look in the United States, the way all the companies are working, that's not good either. Like with, let's say, charging cables, like the fact that they are finally forced all the smartphone companies to finally follow a standard that was so necessary, that was so important that we finally got to a point where you could reuse the charging cables, But again, they are also doing stuff that will eventually cause problems. Like with there's currently so much conflict in Europe, and if you have politics where you are kind of, it feels like they are just putting up together the stone wall with the new laws, and people just have to follow. It's not like it doesn't feel enough like people are really like they are actively having a say in the legislation that they are putting out. At least not all the time. There are many situations when I feel like this is so badly done, like with the recycling stuff that happened recently. They were putting together a recycling regulation where people had to have someone in another country, like where you had to have someone working in another country to take back, like the bubble wrap from the package that you shipped. And that's the kind of stuff where people lose trust in you politically. Yeah, I understand. I understand. It's really sad. It's the same for me. And I mean, in the past, it was really it was really cheap to import from countries like China. The Chinese have a great system, like they are selling on all the marketplaces, but with a fast shipping time, with smart, like they have well chosen like points where they are shipping from, and yeah, and it led to so much unnecessary waste, so much unnecessary poor technology that is only lasting like 6 months and then it's breaking again. And I believe that some of the stuff that they're doing now has to do with that they're trying to kind of control the import that is coming there. And so much of those imports are really poor quality. So it's not that this isn't the problem, it's just that life is already so expensive. And now they have added more taxes to it. But I generally agree that it's important to control how much poor quality electronics you allow into the country. I think that stuff should be forbidden. Yeah. If you have technology that's just designed so you can sell it and then it breaks within short time, that should be illegal. I hate that. From the point of view of someone who uses like old Walkmans from the 80s and they still work, I really miss when technology was really built to last. So I hope we're getting there again. Whatever it is, So yeah, I'm moving the seedlings here, and I consider to bring in pumice tomorrow. I think the pumice will probably be better here, safer. We will still do it like this, but it's possible at some point we are reporting. I don't like how they are looking. Like some of them already look a little weakish. So yeah, we will see what the future brings. I just believe that they need to be a little smarter than they are right now. They're making it too easy to hate on them. But in the core, I believe Europe should stick together. Europe should stick together just out of principle, because so much of the world is currently in conflict. So we should be united. I would love to see that. I would love to see a united Europe. Really united in really every way, with an army and with a peacekeeping army, not something that you use to harass other countries, but to just have someone to protect people. Yeah, I mean, they have normalized that kind of. If you are searching for products on the big websites like Amazon, like eBay, then the first pages of results that you are getting are too often cheap quality. Like that is the big problem. They have created a market where you can no longer find the good ones in the sea of garbage quality stuff that is just shown first because they either are cheaper, you know. So much of today has to do with price tags, and those cheap products, they don't cost much. So very often they are sold more often than the products that have like 5 times that price, and might not even be visible anymore. The market is no longer transparent the way it used to be. In the past, it was much easier to compare stuff. So many search engines are just producing garbage results today. They really need to reward quality products again. Make it easier for manufacturers of good electronics to be found. You know, that's how I would do it. Really reward good quality. I just feel like they're getting rich with the cheap trash, you know? That's the reason they are showing that first. It's probably a lot easier to build a cheap product that will just break within short time than a really good one that will last 10 years or so. Okay. Yeah, we will see. I just don't like the trend that we are seeing right now. So much of, like in the past, I have DVDs and VHS tapes that are already 40 years old, 50 years old. And so much of the new stuff, it will be gone in 10 years. It will be on a dump. And I hate that just from the point of view of someone who likes to go to the flea market. Nothing has changed. I'm still looking for the same kind of games I did when I was younger, like Nintendo games, you know, like the NES and Game Boy stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for today. A lot of the games that we are playing right now, the big ones that you only have online, one day people will not be able to really fully enjoy them anymore. You will have to, I don't know, if the download links are offline. Like I had bought a software, and the download link had expired. Download link was gone. In the past, if you had a software, you had the CD and you had the serial number, and that thing would run. Yeah, that's really right. That's really true. I mean, I don't know how the newer washing machines are, because I have some that have been working for like 25 years. But a lot of the stuff that they're doing today has a limited lifespan. There's too much electronics in them. Like for example, like the smart TVs, you know, there's constantly something that where you can't use them anymore. There's a conflict with the software. I really liked when you could buy something, you put it out of the box and it worked. You put it into the console and it worked. I really miss that. Just the fact that when you're buying something, they are giving you an empty package without a CD, and you have to spend the whole day downloading something. I will never get that. Yeah, I've seen it with the games, you know. It's really sad. It's really sad. But it gives chance for actually good game companies to now do it differently, you know. You constantly see these little games that succeed just because they try to offer real value again. So it also gives you chances where you can maybe have room to show that you're different. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's just an example with Sky recently. I'm watching the German Bundesliga, that's like football, and if the internet is down, that thing doesn't really work anymore. Like, at least not the way it used to work. They have recently started infusing their streaming stuff into everything. And I have a cable. I have classic cable, like in the 80s. And now half of the stuff doesn't work anymore. It's really frustrating. I really expected the future to be a little easier, to have a little bit more usability, user friendliness. Okay. Yeah, I have recently realized I'm just not really enjoying a lot of the work that's currently happening. Like, politically, I hate what we're doing. I hate the drone stuff. I'm looking at the drones, I hate it. I'm looking at the technology and I hate it. Because I like simple technology, you know? And everything is getting more restrictive. You can't even log into certain apps if you don't scan your iris in the future. I'm sure it will happen. Yeah, it's a shame. It was a simple technology. And yeah, but I think this will allow room for people to really create communities that are different again. Like, I've been posting about this like this morning. Just imagine you are building communities that don't have that, you know, where you say, okay, we are not allowing any of that into our society here. We are not allowing anything with a camera, like that kind of stuff, you know, everything that can be used to spy on people would be great. And I mean, of course, you have to be careful, because some people would, like, some nut jobs would also try to use that and do it like that, but in a bad way. But you could just try to do it in a good way and create a positive place. You know, like, because we are seeing that the smartphones are not healthy, like with the mental capacity, like the short videos, they are not really good for us. You know, if I could design a society, I would design it without all of that, because I've seen the damage that smartphones have done in the last years. And I'm not against technical progress. I love some aspects of smartphones. I love some aspects of social media. I think some parts of social media can be great, can be good, can be used to help people, you know, where people come together to donate. And I love that, where you can fight for positive change via social media. I just think that there's also a lot of stuff that nobody is talking about. Like, I have immense problems just focusing on when I'm watching a movie, you know, like something with 90 minutes or 120 minutes, staying focused. I have a lot of issues with that. And I'm sure that will become a bigger problem later on. So yeah, maybe we should try, like, the next chances we will get, not making the same mistakes again. Maybe trying to keep some parts of technology out of it. And I don't mean all. But I mean, a society can always decide what kind of technology they want to allow and what not. You know, you can always have a discussion about that and can say, okay, look, here's what happens. And this is why it's bad for people. Should we allow it or not? Like, if I had a child, I wouldn't give it a smartphone. I wouldn't give it one. And I'm the kind of child, I would have loved to have a smartphone. And I would have loved that thing. And that's why I wouldn't give it to me, you know, because I know how much of an influence it would have had on me. Yeah, I mean, I really hate that too. Like, that so much of the software today is dependent on a server. and it doesn't matter what it is. If you're buying a cheap game, like in the past, you would have these little games that you could buy everywhere, little bit like a Game Boy, but different, like cheaper. These were for the pocket, and all that stuff today comes bundled with an app, and the app will not function again anymore in 5 or 10 years. So many apps will stop functioning, and once that happens, you cannot use that stuff anymore. It will just be trash, and that's a shame. You can still play these old pocket video games today. They are still working today if you replace the battery, But so much of the current stuff that's coming out will just be gone. You will get an error message when you're trying to start it. I really miss when people were trying to build a product that should last a lifetime. And it really doesn't matter what it is. I like the people who create that kind of a product. If it's someone that's forging steel, building something, it doesn't matter. But I really like the people who go the extra mile to create an amazing product. And I'm not seeing enough of that today. So, hybrids with Rosa California, by the way. I'm just trying to single them out, moving them into new medium. I just expect us to have common sense when we're making decisions that affect our future. Common sense is what I expect, nothing else. I'm not a complicated guy. I'm not a difficult guy. If technology is good, I will not be against it. Just seeing so much poorly thought through stuff today. Okay. Yeah, we will definitely bring in pumice tomorrow. So, yeah, we will put them under the lamp, bring them in every now and then. And if the soil is too organic, we are putting them into pumice. I have bought 2 big bags. This will be enough for the next year. Oh, here's another one that I overlooked. Put it here. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've just reached the age where the constantly new technology is bothering me. It's like every time I see something new, I think, leave me alone with it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to create a new app. I don't want to have a new ID. I don't want to scan my iris. Please just leave me alone. I just want to watch television, or I just want to use the internet, Like when did everything become so complicated? So this one here is a little bit close together. Maybe we should pull them apart, split them up over 2 containers. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's my age too. I think mentally you're only able to, at a certain point, you just realize that you don't have to constantly change with everything. You see, the older you get, the more you see that the world is changing. You see that the old world where you grew up in does no longer exist. You see it in so many different situations. Like when I'm going on a walk, and the forest where I played as a child is no longer there, or the supermarkets where I bought are no longer there. The theaters where I went to see movies are no longer there. So you kind of get used to like the world moving on. So you lose interest to really try. I'm looking at the new technology and I'd look at it with disgust, you know, like, and it's not that there's no new technology, it's that the way they are using it, right now, you see, like, there's so much negative stuff that they're doing with technology today that I'm disappointed, you know, like, just, I was a big supporter of the internet. And over the years, seeing social media change, like, so much of the discussion on social media is hate driven. A lot of the discussions in comment sections about hobby groups, you know, hobby stuff, it doesn't matter, but there's so much hate driven discussion under topics today on the internet, you know, and I'm a little disappointed. I had higher expectations. I thought these guys would really, like, if you never really remove that kind of stuff, then it's a decision for something, and there's too much hate that they're not really taking seriously. Hate how that is. Like with the comment this morning, it's the same thing. They decide what kind of a world they want to have. And I'm disappointed in what they have decided the world should be. It's not really... so much of the discussion right now is unnecessary, where I'm sure people would agree. Most people would agree that it's important to save the planet, you know? But so much on social media is just arguing about stuff like climate, like what kind of a car we are driving, like if something is with battery, is like electric or with fuel, you know? Like so much of this is arguing instead of just having a discussion about it and going with the thing that is the best for our future, that is the best for the planet, you know? Like there's too many people having a say in how the future is supposed to look like, you know, when only the people should have a say, you know, like most people would agree on how to proceed into the future, how to pick what we are using as means of transport. But yeah, I'm a little bit unhappy about that. Yeah, I don't know. People are just complicated, you know. Like every time you have more than one people together, people will disagree. So maybe it's just normal for us to have that, to always have that. I'm just disappointed because so much of the stuff that they are recommending me on social media, like yesterday, I was having a moment and I was looking at the post that Facebook had recommended to me, and I was getting insulted. You know, I was thinking, like, is this really how you think of me? Is this trash really what you think I would like? And then I was thinking about the stuff that I read and how I am, and then I felt like, okay, fair enough. But still, I'm just a little. There's so much where they could really, like, the people spend so much time writing negative stuff. If they would just, like, if every time they're writing something negative in a Facebook comment section or social media comment section in general, they would do something good. They would try to lift someone up, you know, like be supportive of someone. Then we wouldn't be having all these issues that we're having now. That's all. So we're taking these out. They are too deep in the pot. We want to see the root section. Want to get them a little higher. Very often when you have them that deep, you have then one or two seedlings that already have a bad root. So we are pulling these out now. I just hope that long term, the time that we are experiencing right now will lead to a positive change in the future. It's all what I want. Like that, we see what went wrong in the last 10 to 20 years and try to change it again. That's the hope that I have. Really hope that, I don't know, they will really look at the hate on social media as a problem and take care of it. I mean, I'm not against having a heated discussion and all, but what's happening right now is a little bit more than that. I see so many pages, they are already presenting the title of the post in a way that it enrages as many people as possible. You know, that can be good. So yeah, we're splitting these up over two. Singling them out now, really removing the soil for everyone. Want to get rid of all the unnecessary soil that I have. We might be putting them in pumice too. This one has a base problem. Maybe we should graft it. Let's put this one aside, also in a bag. And then maybe we're grafting it later. What is that, by the way? Let's see. I think these didn't have a label. I love it when they don't have a label. It's exactly what I need. More unlabeled plants. Oh, there's a little... I'm sorry, dude. There's a little insect that that unfortunately was in the pot. I'm sorry, mate. I will bring the guy out later. Oh, here's another one. I will never remember the name of them, but the ones that are living in the cellar. In German, they are called Assel, Kellerassel. Yeah, I really believe there will be a counter movement against all that. Like that current trend to everything is complicated, everything is technology, everything is a subscription, will lead people to go away from that. They will form communities really like the Amish. I see it, I'm sure it will happen. Simply because it makes sense, you know? I thought about it. And maybe if we're lucky, the current time will lead to counter movement that will really correct everything later on. I have that hope. So, yeah, I will get another one. I actually wanted to keep the soil in the one, but it's full of life. I don't want to have that in the house. These guys are not really happy in the house either. Oops. But I gotta say that this is the first generation soil that we used in the live stream, and it was great. Had a really great success rate of plants that it kept healthy. Very organic, lots of big pieces of wood, but it worked. It worked. You can really grow cacti in many different ways. I think a couple of years ago, I started to be a little bit louder in regards to what kind of a future I would love to see. And it's because I have realized that a lot of the younger people today didn't have the same chance as I had to actually see the world that we had when we grew up. You know, it wasn't always great. Like, you have to be careful because so many older people have the tendency to romanticize everything that was back then, and a lot of the stuff that happened back then was bad. But I've seen how certain things have been better than they are today, at least if you ask me. And I just hope that by talking about this, you will eventually reach people in a way that they realize they can change the world, that they can really decide how they want to live their life. And that was a huge thing for me. I was always thinking, hey, I would love to do this, I would love to do that, but I am actually in this kind of niche. Like, I was in the cactus scene, and I would have loved to also talk about other stuff that happened in my life, you know? And then I realized I can decide how my whole existence is going to be. And and then I kind of changed a little. It changed my outlook on the world. I never really thought that you could spawn a movement or that you could reach people just with the little reach that I had. But then that's how it sometimes is. You cannot underestimate the influence that you could have if you would really do what you believe in. And that's why I've become a little louder. I really don't like some of the changes that are happening right now. Like, in the past, they always looked at certain aspects of that kind of a dark future, you know, like digital surveillance future was always a bad thing. And now we're moving towards that in a way that is really scary, in a way that should all the good people worry, because, you know, like, it's not that most people are bad, you know? Like I said, I'm sure that most people would agree we are very social creatures. Most people would agree with each other if people weren't trying to influence them, push them in a certain direction. I really hope that we learn from our mistakes. That's all I'm saying. So, these look like maybe Lubivia cantora, something like that. The body doesn't look like completely like Lubivia. It definitely has a Candicans appearance, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe we find the label somewhere in there. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm moving seedlings here and also talking a little bit about, I don't know, technology, technical progress, you know. So, when I have these in the pot, then I will move this thing out because there's insects in there. I don't want to have them in the house. I don't want them to get loose in the house. Gotta be careful when we're now bringing the plants into the house over winter. Good. Split it up over 2 containers. So give me a second. I will carry these guys out. And then we're doing some seed stuff. I have a box of seeds here, and we will plan what we are planting. All right. So, yeah, I have this one here. This is a fruit, cactus fruit, and I want to see if there are maybe any seeds in there. We lost quite a few fruits last year. Some of them have been forgotten outside. I want to really avoid that in the future. Yeah, this is not looking good. Seeds look really dried up. This is going in the trash. So we could continue to sow out a little bit. I want to plant these here. These are chilies, and they were amazing. The plant was a cultivar called. No, it was not that one. This one here. How was it called? I don't know. I don't remember. Something with red. Joe's Long Cayenne Orange. I really wanted to plant the other one. Charapita Red, that's the one. Charapita Red was the cultivar, and we are planting that. I have 4 seeds, and I really want to try to see if they are viable. Yeah, so let's get started. Planting maybe 1 or 2 per container. We'll be using the little plastic bag here to get everything started. These are cactus seeds, by the way, that I planted yesterday. They will go into the greenhouse where the temperature is a little higher. I want to make use of the higher temperature outside, and I hope that I can get them to germinate. Right now is a time where I don't really have the heater on. So, and inside, like, the house can be relatively cool. So I just hope that we will get we will have a good temperature here for inducing the germination. Everything else where I feel like we might not be hitting the right the sweet spot might be going to the greenhouse. So yeah, Charapita Red, and that was the variegated plant that I have. Really beautiful. We will definitely collect the seeds from that one too. I'm a little worried here because they are so small. Usually I would maybe try to soak them a little. These are really, really small and look dry. I hope they still have viability. Putting 2 of them into each pot here, 1 of them here and 1 of them in front of it on the other side. If they are germinating, I will instantly move them once they have a bigger size. These plastic bags have the right dimensions for the bag for the square pots that I have here. And you can buy these in any size. Like, if you want to have more, if you want to have a bigger container, you can buy the plastic bag for that too, and you can reuse them. Just make sure you don't buy the cheapest one. Really trying to reuse what I can. A lot of that plastic stuff actually can be reused as long as it's not contaminated. I think I might need a different pen here. This just looks like it would dissolve. From time to time, I see writing, and I feel like if this thing is in full sun, the writing will be gone in 2 weeks. So got to be a little careful that it doesn't dissolve right away. Really looking forward that we can now continue to plant something, sowing out. I really love that. Sowing out is one of my favorite things to do. Tomorrow I will bring in another bag of the sowing soil. Sowing soil, perfect soil for actual seedlings. Can also buy how's it called? They are selling soil for young plants, you know, for propagation and all that. That one is useful too. It's just this was really the cheapest one that still worked. That still worked perfectly. Yeah, okay. 5 seeds were still in the bag. And I want to plant them now because I realized that the viability of the seeds was not like long-term good. I don't have a lot of experience with chili viability, but from what I've seen, the ones that we planted right away, most of them came up. Then we did a second planting, and most of those did not come up. Really had a horrible germination rate within short time, within just a few months. Yeah, and so we are planting them now to increase the chance that we get maybe another seedling from that, because it was great. Was really great. Looked amazing. It's that variegated chili that I have outside. We will be grafting in the next days, by the way. I think we have to bring in a few containers of seedlings where we can only keep 1 or 2 maybe. And then we are grafting on the remaining plants. We're keeping at least 1 or 2 of the most, like the best seedlings we are keeping for growing them out. And everything else we need to use as grafting stocks. That will allow us to also keep them and also use them for something else. So I want to water them a little bit. And then this goes in the greenhouse too. I don't think we will get excessive heat, just enough heat to induce germination. So this one too, I didn't put in enough water in the beginning. If they're really dry, they might need to soak in a little. I haven't really, they are not really super deep, very close to the top, to the soil level. I think they don't need to be covered from what I heard. So, okay. Yeah, how late is it? Good. Let's plan something else. I have a few more containers. Maybe we find something cool that we should grow. I have kiwi seeds. I would love to plant kiwi, but I fear that need some kind of a cold treatment. But that's something that I would love to grow in the future. Maybe we can raise a few. I mean, the test that I did in the past failed. So we are filling one up like with soil. Then I'm putting in the seeds, and then I think I'm putting it in the freezer. Putting it in the freezer, and then I'm putting it out. And hopefully that will induce the germination. I think kiwi is one of the plants that needs a little frost, little cold treatment, stratification, to get them to germinate. Seeds are often very specific, perfectly made to function in the environment they come from. So we have to recreate that. Not really using a lot. I just want to see if we have life in the seeds here. Also got to be careful if you're putting in too many seeds, then you're creating a nice layer of organic stuff that can be overgrown. If you have too many seeds, like too many seeds over a too small area, works like a connection, like a network where the fungal infection, if you get one, can spread from one seed to the other. And it can go all through the container very fast. So trying to avoid that. This was something like kiwi from New Zealand, Auckland, I think. I'm not sure if that is a cultivar. But that was what was on the label of the vegetables that I bought. Okay, we will see if that works. I don't want to mess it up. Would be a shame. I already tried germinating them and I failed the first time. So this time I'm giving myself a little bit more effort, trying to really recreate the cold phase that they might need. Putting this in the freezer for a couple of weeks maybe, and then we're bringing it out. Okay, next one. Yeah, and apart from that, the cactus season is almost coming to an end soon. We will still be able to have a few videos here and there, like with the flowers and all. But in general, I think the main flower season is over. And it's a shame. It always goes so fast. Happens so fast. I definitely want to grow a few more tomatoes. This is something that I haven't tried yet, but I want to try. Red beets. Beta vulgaris variety esculenta. This is something that we should really plant. Not sure if this will work inside, but I could try. They're right. You can use it like in a outside bed, like in a garden bed. Planting them into the field. That's not what I want to do. I would love to grow them inside. Let's see. Let's put them on the side. I definitely want to grow a lot of tomatoes next year. Tomatoes. Oh. This is Raphanus sativus. Some sort of a salad. This is nice. We should do that next year when the season is. This is We just missed the season here. Next year, I want to build a garden bed outside. Will be great. Looking forward to that. This here's a plant that we tried to plant and the mice ate them all. Majoran is the plant. Majoran. Maybe we should plant them again. I was really frustrated that the mice ate them. So let's give it a second try. Needs light. So it means you don't cover the seeds. You kind of sprinkle them on top. Germination time 15 to 25 days at 18 to 20 degrees. We are getting that. That's okay. Yeah, and usually the harvest time is July, October. Okay. So tomorrow we will clean up in here. Really cleaning up the office so we can so we know what we have. There are quite a few plants that I would love to plant where we have to go through the seeds, deciding what we will grow. I want to do it on the live stream. That allows me to talk about why we're choosing certain stuff. So I'm not really using a lot of seeds here. Really trying to sprinkle it in my hand. Yeah, this is enough. This is already probably too many for the little pot that we have. But I want to start with a few in case we lose some again, which is supposed to happen from time to time. Yeah, and unfortunately, some animal outside ate my tomato. I do not know which one. I suspect it could have been a deer, but was really unhappy. And someone in the comment section wrote, "The missing tomato is the least of your problems." That was the comment that I saw. You know? Not that it's wrong, but yeah. Okay. I'm really looking forward planting again, sowing out, just having fun. We will be growing different plants again, bringing them here. Also planting cactus seeds, but it has to be good stuff. Really want to grow things where we are really happy that we have them. So this is Majoran. Majoran in German. I have written down the words in English, but I haven't written one for Majoran. It might be something that sounds very similar. Majoram or something like that. I think that was the English name. It's annual plant. This is good for putting spiciness into soup, into food, and will be great. Like I said, I had a few and the mice ate them all, really relentlessly. Yeah, and the containers, they are all going into the greenhouse later. So I would say we're splitting up the seeds that we have. I want to put together one box just for the chili. And we have a lot of chili here that we haven't really where we haven't done much with. I have brought the chili in, check it out. And that's the good thing about the chili, you can just dry them. I have quite a few bags where we just have the chili still in. And I hope this will kind of keep them viable for a little bit longer. I don't want them to dry out so much. But yeah, we are going through a box of them and selecting the ones that that we will be growing next year. That's why I really like these paper bags for stuff, for fruit. If you would have put that into a plastic bag, that thing would have been a mess. Would have been a mess, but in a paper bag, you have the thing nicely dried up. If you ever want to have the seeds, you can get them. So here's tomatoes. I want to select the tomatoes that we are growing because I had a lot of fun growing tomatoes this year. I didn't expect it. Like, it was just there. When I tried the first tomato, it was really translating that thing into the real world. That's how I explain it. I had realized, oh my God, if we're planting 100 of them, we have 100 tomatoes, you know? Or maybe even more. So we will grow more of them. This is salad. I'm not really interested in that for now. I'm not the salad kind of guy. There's something that could be interesting. This is a fruit tree. I'm not sure what the name is in English, but this is some interesting fruit. Koreaner is the cultivar name here. And this is old seed, by the way. I had planted them, and I think the viability was 0. Hey, greetings, TJ. Greetings to you. I'm just going through the seeds, and we are selecting the ones that we will get, that we will plant. I want to select tomatoes. Yeah, and putting together everything. Discussing what we will plant. I was very disappointed in the watermelon thing. Like the ones that we grew on the live stream, they all failed in some way or another. And it isn't supposed to be a super difficult plant. Maybe we should try again. Okay, here, cocktail tomato, gardener's sweetheart. Here we have more Carolina Reaper. We should plant more of those. Cayenne chocolate. I think the one with cayenne chocolate really, we had a few plants that eventually made it. But yeah, we will try to germinate a few more of the chilies. I also have a few very old seeds, and we'll see if they are viable or not. I'm not sure, probably not. Like most seeds, there's always a chance for germination, so I would always try it if I find old seeds, especially if it's old cactus seeds, or if it's seeds that are really big. Sometimes you can really, like, the seeds need a while to induce germination. And yeah, I would always try it out, always plant them. It doesn't matter how old they are. I would try to treat them with water, like letting them soak. Sometimes you can increase the viability by soaking in boiling water. Something like that. That's what I would do. Some of the chili that I've planted in the second part of the year really failed. Like they didn't come up at all. So it will be interesting to see if they come up now. Here's something that's also weird type of pumpkin or something like that. Something similar to a pumpkin. I love going through seeds and deciding what we will grow. Yeah. Next year, I really want to try more stuff that's actually edible. And I will also try to do it with organic fertilizer. Really want to try fertilizing them organically with decent fertilizer. Wait, where is it? Here. This one? Patterson Sunburst is the name that's written on the label here. On the cultivar. It looks like a hybrid. It looks like a hybrid between a pumpkin and something else. Pumpkin and a melon. That's how it looks like. I'm really overwhelmed by all the seeds that we have. I don't remember that we had so much. It's really excessive. I think that, like, I've grown basil as a plant this year, and I mean, it was nice. It's a great plant. It's nice and beautiful, but I feel like I was a little disappointed in it as a plant. So that one we will not plant next. Like if I'm ever growing basil again, it won't be next, like in the near future, not within the next 6 months. That's interesting. Do you know what it is? Like, is it really a hybrid between something? It looks like a hybrid. Yeah, and we can already fill a whole box just with the chilies, and that's what we will do. We are putting together different boxes with different seeds and never sow them out. We just keep them in the boxes and talk about it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to plant a few cactus seeds this year. The really good ones. The really good ones. Maybe a few rare cacti like HG Ocerois. Going through everything here. I love it. We will be growing a lot of cool plants. Oh, I want to plant, by the way, I want to plant blueberries. So the next days I will investigate how to grow blueberries. I have bought a few. Like last year, I bought a package just in the supermarket, and I kept the seeds. So yeah, but the seeds seem to be tiny. So I will in the next days I will get me a few. Then we're trying to clean them, getting that stuff cleaned in a way, and then we're planting them. I read about blueberries in the last weeks in the news. Apparently that more and more of the ones on the market are toxic. apparently there was some sort of a situation with toxic blueberries, and yeah, might be a good idea to grow them yourself, you know. Yeah, I have, like, that was the reason it failed last time. Like, I have the whole container with the remnants of the blueberries, including the seeds, and I couldn't see the seeds. I was looking at that, you know, and I was thinking, hey, how do I get the seeds out of this now? And I haven't really figured it out yet. We will spread them out on a piece of paper and really try to find just the seeds, and then we're using them. Hopefully we can get some seedlings and plant them here. If they can survive the climate here, I would definitely try planting them out. I love blueberries. Always wanted to try growing them, and this time we're really doing it. Yeah, okay. I mean, we will go through everything in totality tomorrow. I will bring a new bag of soil, and then we're really planting. Yeah, I will look into how it's done commercially, how they are planting them. I might just sprinkle a little bit from the container in a pot, you know, just trying to not put in too much organic material at once, because whatever you are putting in might cause an infection, you know. Everything that isn't seeds, you know. But we will try. I will try to find the blueberries for tomorrow, that we can start with those. I really want to try them out. Could be great. Could be really fun. I like blueberries. It's a very healthy kind of healthy plant. I would love to have them around for the animals that are here, that are coming to find something to eat in winter, or whenever they are ripe. So that's what we will do. Also want to grow a few more tomatoes. Since we're growing them inside, I'm not really, like, I thought about doing it next year, and then next year really going overboard, like planting 100 plants, or we are growing a few more over winter. I'm just not sure if we can grow them inside, if they are really, if they taste, you know, like if they have a good taste or not. They always talk about the greenhouse vegetables, you know. They always talk negatively about those, and it could definitely be that, yeah, that they have no taste. Don't have a comparable taste compared to the ones that are grown outside. Okay, yeah, let's put this together. I'm looking forward to plant new stuff. And I will try to find new ones. We will grow a few new cacti that we haven't grown before. Maybe I'm picking something where we really have to work with a more mineral medium. And yeah, I've already looked at like the few websites to maybe get a few seeds for the live stream. And it will be great. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I always wanted to have them. I always wanted to have them locally. And in the past, I was never really good enough to grow them. And I'm sure they are not difficult if you know what you're doing, but I never knew what I'm doing. So now I'm getting to the point where I feel like maybe this time works. I think we can do it. I think the most difficult problem is just that the seeds are so small, you know, that the seeds are so easy to not see. And then it will take a while when you have the tiny, tiny plants. Might take a while until you even know that you have seedlings. That kind of thing can be a problem. Because I remember having grown cacti that were tiny, really tiny cacti. and very often you had to wait like a year until you actually saw something like really good, until something was very well visible, and that's a big disadvantage. I hope it's not like that. Yeah, I'm looking at that. I really enjoyed the tomatoes. The tomatoes were really positively surprising me. I mean, to be honest, I also expected the tomatoes to taste worse. Like from time to time when I'm eating a tomato from the supermarket, it's not comparable to the ones that I've been having at the plant. They were amazing. They were really good tomatoes. And yeah, I underestimated how good they actually are. And it's not a great specific cultivar. It's just the fact that when you can grow something at your own home, when you go out in the garden and you can harvest something that you've grown, that is a good thing. That already makes half the experience. Yeah. Thank you, TJ. I'm not sure why it filtered it out, but probably because it thought it was a slur. But I will look into it. Thank you. There's so many different ones. I'm not really limited to any cultivar. We could try them all. Like everything that falls into our hands, we will try. I don't know what we're doing here, but I just wanna see what develops, you know? Every time we're finding new seeds, we're planting something. And it will not be easy. So eventually we will have a few funny situations here and there where we're trying to do something and it doesn't work, you know? That kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to that. So this is sweet paprika. And this is something that we should grow too. This is from the vegetables that I brought in from the local supermarket. From time to time, you find good stuff at the local supermarket. So yeah, cleaning up here. I want to put together seeds that we will grow. I would start one stack with stuff that we will grow and another one with stuff that we will not grow. But both has to be sorted out. Like this is Schaffery red. I don't think we're growing them. Schaffery red, in my opinion, could be self-fertile. I don't trust it enough. So we will give out the seeds. Here's a seed bag without anything on the label. I love when it's like that. So we're sorting it out. We're giving it away as a gift. This is something that we will grow. What's that? Oh, this is a hybrid called Daniela, right? Or is it Ulf Meerbold? No, it's Ulf Meerbold. Ulf Meerbold 2026. 2026. Okay. I'm not sure if we're planting some of them. Flower is good. It's just, I'm not sure, like they take very long to flower. I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. We are just trying out different cultivars. I'm sure it will be great. This one here is also Schaffery red. I have found a few bags of that one, and I'm not really sure what to do with them. The The flowers were great. The plant looked great. Really impressive. It's just, it might be self-fertile. And when you're growing a plant that's self-fertile, you often have the risk that it will just look like the mother. You know, why would you want to grow something that would come out the same way the other plant already looked, you know, how the other one looks like? So I think this is something that we will not grow. It always matters what we like when we're not growing something, when we're deciding not to grow something. I often want to talk about it to explain why we're not doing it. And in this case, I just feel like the flower would be too similar to the one of the mother. I really suspect them of being fertile. That whole species, Syrensia, Telegonoides, the whole complex, Schaffery, Telegonoides, these two are both sometimes self-fertile. And most of the seedlings that you grow from them, they will look very similar. Sometimes you can be lucky that the offspring is stronger than the mother, but very often it's just the same old. This is good. This is Gräserserfolg, Selbstbestäubung, and Cantora. This one we should plant. I almost lost the plant in winter. It survived, but barely. Really almost lost it. So having seeds from it from last year is good. So yeah, Mika is spending some time with my ex-wife, and I was actually happy that she got to spend a little time with her. Mika really likes my ex-wife, and I try to make it possible that they can spend time with each other, you know. And I hate that because that is all time when the dog isn't with me. But I want my dog to be happy too, and I really like how much I know how much she likes my ex-wife. So I want to do my part to make sure she's happy, you know. Yeah, and she's spending time with both of us, from time to time with me, from time to time with my ex-wife. So yeah, cleaning up a little bit here just to get a clean desk so we can work again tomorrow. It was a little chaotic recently here, and I really want to get control over that. Maybe we're cleaning a few seats in the next couple of weeks. Might even be out again just to get it done. Then we're putting together a few bunch of fruits that need. I really hate when I'm unpacking a seed package and it doesn't have a label. I hate it. I need to really do that in the future. Taking time to label everything. Need to take more time with that. Everything that doesn't have a label, we probably sort out. I don't know. Makes things so much harder. From time to time, you have something good without a label. But I just expect that I spend enough time to label the important ones, you know, like that I usually have a label for the really good stuff, and the mediocre stuff I sometimes forget to label. Oh. I just remembered I recently had a fruit that let's see, that I wanted to clean. Let me see, is it here? Gotta be careful here. We have a few fruits here in the box that need to be cleaned. I almost forgot that. We have to clean these before they get before they start rotting. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. I'm so happy that we found it. This is Echinopsis glauca. We have to clean that in the next days. We have to clean that. One of the best fruits of the season. I'm glad that I found it. We will clean that today. Before I forget it again, I will do a video with that. Cleaning them outside in a sieve. Yeah, because it's an amazing amazing plant, pollinated with arboricola, I think, with an arboricola hybrid. Arboricola grandiflora hybrid by Miss Plant. Yeah, and that is the stuff that I want to grow out in winter. These seeds here, maybe we have enough for, maybe give a few away to friends. Yeah, and these also. Flying Dragon, Cantora 1433. A lot of good stuff that needs to be cleaned. Yeah, there's some good ones in there. I wish I could more effectively clean the seeds inside. You know, if I had a water thing here where I could just take the camera and we could just start cleaning. I really consider doing that for the live stream later. Yeah, I understood it. Yeah, it's a super amazing plant. I just remembered having put the fruit into the box, but I didn't really follow up on it. Got to be really careful sometimes. I'm putting an amazing fruit somewhere and I forget about it. Can't have that happen anymore in the future. Okay. Yeah, we will clean these tomorrow. Start cleaning this one today because I don't want to wait any longer. Cleaning this one in the video. Yeah, and then tomorrow we are sowing out more. Think this is good enough for today. Trying to plant the blueberries tomorrow. Trying to find the seeds. Then we will spend a little time on the live stream just looking for the seeds. I'm not sure. Last time I tried it, I couldn't find seeds. And if we don't find the seeds, we are just grinding everything down and spreading it out over the medium. Yeah, but that's for tomorrow. I think this is enough for today. Yeah, I want to thank you all for being here all the time. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly enjoy the work that we are doing. Right now, it's a little overwhelming, to be honest. There's so many seeds, you know, like as a cactus breeder, the kind of stuff that I have, there's just too much that you always have an overview, that you always know everything that's happening everywhere. There might be crosses in between that have insane potential, but I'm overlooking it. So in the future, in the next 12 months of the live stream, we will really try to take care of that. I have boxes of seeds and we will go through them just to collect the maybe 5 to 10% that we really have to plant. And yeah, I will try to make it happen, to really have it good, in a good way, good live stream, good discussion from time to time. I don't want to really, like, from time to time in a live stream, I'm just talking about something that matters to me, like today. And it's really because I I have realized I can reach people, you know, like it's a little different. I don't have that insane audience, but I have an audience that really has a conscience. Like when we're talking about something, people are already, I don't know, I have a great audience. That's what I saw this morning when I saw, like, from time to time I'm getting a hate comment, but it's really nothing compared to the positive comments that I get. And yeah, so thank you for being like that, you know, thank you for being that positive audience that isn't like so much of social media right now, just looking for excuses to argue, you know. There's so many positive, kind people, and also we're having a discussion, despite the fact, you know, it doesn't have to be like when you have an audience where you don't argue all the time, it doesn't have to be boring, you know. We are still having a good discussion. So thank you for that. Okay. It's not gone unnoticed. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is it for now. Thank you guys for having been here on this Saturday morning. I hope you have a great day, everyone. Make the most out of the weekend. I wish we could have done a little more today. Gotta get new pots for sowing out, gotta get new soil, but we will get back to it tomorrow. And tomorrow we're planting a little more. Tomorrow we will plant, at least we are trying to plant the blueberries. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Wishing you a great day. I will be back again tomorrow, same time. And yeah, wishing you a great weekend, everyone. Thank you.